Take 37. What's up, Boomer? Talk about the problems of being a perfectionist. And this whole YouTube thing for me has been held up because of my perfectionism. Anyway, I'm back. I'm thinking it's time to just, after talking about it for a couple years, I'm going to do YouTube and we're going to see what happens. I don't have any idea exactly. I mean, I've had ideas what I thought the channel would be about, but I think I'm just going to do what the experts say to do, and that's to start and let the channel, let the audience develop around what it is you have to offer. And what do I have to offer? Not a whole heck of a lot. Except I think I do maybe as we build a community, because that's the whole point of this. So twofold for me is to build a community of like-minded people, probably boomers, probably people that have reached retirement age and going, now what in the world, or how in the world am I going to do this? And that's where I'm at right now. I'm 62 years old, closer to 63 than anything else. And I'm facing a lot of things I know a lot of my friends and peers are facing, and including worrying about, whether that be health, finances, retirement, and just all of these types of things. And I want to talk about that. The other thing that I know is very important to me are leaving a legacy for the grandgirls and for my own kids. You know, one of the saddest things I feel I've been facing is I have a great relationship with both my son and daughter, but not the one I would have liked to have had by this time in life. There's really no problems and we're close, but it's like, okay, I focused on, I think, the things in the past. I didn't focus on things that were broad enough. So as a result, maybe I don't know them as well as I should, as weird as that sounds. Or, I mean, they're in their 30s now, but maybe they don't know me as well as they should as well. And I certainly want my grandgirls to know something about Pop, especially if something goes wrong or goes right, depending on your perspective. So 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, I had a heart event. When you're invited to an event, that can be a good thing, you know, a positive thing. This was not one of those events you necessarily want to attend, although if you get out of it alive, which I did, and I started this channel 2 years ago talking about that event. So those were the first few episodes with my heart. I think you know, it's been a huge blessing. It's also been an attitude. It's more than just an attitude adjustment and a perspective paradigm shift as far as how I want to make the next years of my life being hopefully the best years. Well, part of that will be this YouTube channel to document as a legacy who I was, things I thought about, things I worried about, things I'm doing, and hopefully share that with my family. I sit here in a place that was my parents' actually. It's a long story. We're going to talk about that. And I started the process. They have since passed. And I was left to go through these things that were here, of which I've started, even though it's been a while, and this is my place now. But we'll be talking about that, because I think that's important and something we all face as we get older, some earlier than others as far as the loss of family members, particularly our parents. So I thought I better maybe even update this channel, which started but never really officially started, because if you would have, up to this point, the last 2 years, watched the first 4 episodes I think I had of the heart event, you would have thought I died. Because I've been no updates, no other videos, and there's lots of reasons for that. Mostly just being my own problems with procrastination, perfectionism, disbelief. I got really excited. I think YouTube, do you know that YouTube is considered one of the top career choices now for people, particularly younger people, but for older people as well. So one of the possible themes or journeys or focuses on this channel is, can this boomer make this channel something that goes into the retirement years as either a supplemental income or, unbelievably, many people making a full-time income from. Stay tuned regarding that. So again, I thought, well, let's get this going, because I did survive that event and I'm doing pretty well. Although we have just come out of the pandemic, but look like we might be re-entering as I record this. It is August 2021. And, the COVID variant, whatever it's called, is now, according to the press, starting to spike again. So we'll see where that takes us and what happens. But, well, I guess I'm going to invite you to follow this journey. I'm going to spend the next 30 days, the month of August, just doing as many videos as I can, shorter videos. And I'm going to teach myself the editing software. I had bought a course by a 20-some-year-old kid. He's doing a great job with iMovie, and I want to learn a little bit more of the tricks and trades of how to do these little videos. Today I am using my iPhone. It's the 12 Plus. To do this, I really believe, after looking at all the fancy cameras and the entry-level cameras and everything else that people are using, this is the way to go. Sean Cannell of Think Media, who I learned so much from, basically says, get the camera and just start. Pick it up and record. And that's what I'm doing today. Now, 2012, 2010, so 9, 10 years ago, I wanted to start a YouTube channel and build an audience with it. And I bought this camera right here. This camera is still in next to new shape because it was brand new when I bought it. It's probably got less than 1,000, 1,500 actual pictures on it, a few videos. Well, I started it, and I'll never forget getting so frustrated with one attempt of doing a video. And at the time, I don't think I had as good of an idea as I feel like I kind of do now, or a direction, I should say, with a YouTube channel, that I just quit. But back then, 10 years ago, 9 years ago, editing, the technology, the learning curve was quite a bit more. Right now, with this phone I'm using there, or with the GoPro, which I really like, I just have to learn how to get it from here onto my computer and do the editing on it. So I'll primarily be using my iPhone and the GoPro camera. And then I've even got this one, which is really made for the Sony this is the A6000. Now, I bought this now a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, to do night sky photography. I just would love to learn how to do that, astrophotography. And if I do get back to that, which I plan to, I'll share that with the channel. But anyway, I've held on to this. I still love this camera, but it's more bulky and it does great things. But again, the technology using this camera was way too difficult at the time. I didn't have the patience. That would have been, I was in my early 50s. I was starting to get crotchety. We're going to talk about that. I think by doing keeping up with technology and helps us keep from getting so crotchety if we learn to use it correctly, and hopefully it won't take us over, as it looks like it's about to do with AI. Well, anyway, so I'm going to use the next month to learn the cameras, to learn the editing, the iMovie, to share topics, just vignette type topics of the things that I will, as I go forward, will do more in-depth videos on. Again, as known for my notes, wrote them myself, the plans. I've been watching YouTube the last 2 years. It started with the heart event. I didn't have cable. It's why pay for 120 some channels? And how many times have you done this? You pay $100 some a month, all of these channels, all the news is sporting everything, and then not be able to find anything you want to watch. So about 2 years ago, I started watching YouTube. And because I'd always been told, especially younger people saying, all they do is watch YouTube. I go, how do you watch enough YouTube? Or how do you get, does it have on there what I want to watch? And actually it does. Right now I watch YouTube every day. If I want to get news, I go to YouTube for it. If I want to watch a movie, I can watch movies from it. If I want to watch other channels, which is what I do the majority of time, and I'll be sharing some of the channels I watch that have helped me in this evolution of deciding I'll do my own channel, find my own people, so to speak, my own audience, and become a community together. So that's kind of where I guess we're at with this. So I wrote down just some things, topics that I'll talk about over the next 30 days. Boomer life, retirement, health, work. Recently just quit my job. Note again, this is August 2021. There's a whole story about that. You'd probably find it interesting, but I'm not really sure I want to share that publicly. Overall, it was on good terms and everything, but it was a disappointing ending. Let's put it that way. Legacy, I mentioned that. I think this will be a great opportunity to have a legacy for my kids and my grandkids, which time I currently have 4 unbelievable grandgirls. Many of the pictures are up here on my wall here, as well as pictures of when I lived in Hawaii, which I'll talk about from the perspective of why you don't want to move to Hawaii per se. Lots of good reasons actually for that. Or if you do, why you'll probably move back, usually within a year. It was 2.5 years for me. Anyways, just going to talk about life. Going to talk about interesting, I hope, topics, and hopefully how to navigate the final years of our lives. That may be, and I laughed when I thought this might be the number one reason for some of you to watch, to check in, to subscribe, so you can follow along and see how long I make it. Life. I've checked on people before on YouTube to find out, I knew they had a heart attack. They were battling cancer. And I wondered what happened. I'm not trying to be morbid or anything, because dying is a part of life. But maybe if I document my journey since my heart event and having heart disease, I'm a believer it can be prevented now. I can actually, if I do the right things, according to some doctors, I can live, I won't die of heart disease, believe it or not, but we'll see. So sharing some of the things I know about that, what has been beneficial to me, I know can help others, and maybe even give you the quality of life you're looking for, and hopefully me maintaining my quality of life. And that's been a concern recently. All right. So anyway, I think I'll wrap it up today. Follow my journey. If nothing else, like or subscribe. That's there's a thing called the algorithm. I'm tired of hearing about it, but I'll tell you, there are younger people that have figured that out. It's the key to the success of the channel, particularly early on. So, and then as a subscriber or a liker, hopefully you'll become part of this community. Hopefully we'll get to know each other, actually. I'm not in this just to talk to a camera. It's always cool to connect with people and learn from each other on this thing. So with that said, thanks for, however you found this, thanks for getting this far. And we'll see what this month of August brings as I start learning the ins and outs of growing a YouTube channel. I'm going to probably keep the name What's Up Boomer because I hope that's who I'm probably going to reach the most. See you next time.